Hello and welcome to QR4rigs. This tutorial is aimed at giving you some hints and tips on fitting the QRMin footplate system to your rig and some of your controllers. So this is a footplate I've taken off, or I haven't even put on yet, onto my GT Elite from Next Level Racing. It's basically two bars with slots in, which allows me to actually adjust it quite well. For those of you with solid foot plates, you'll obviously need to drill the appropriate holes, and there's a template, or rather a drilling guide, that's available. It's A3, this is an A4 sheet, so it's scaled right down. It's scaled 1 to 2 on A3, so it's 1 to 4 on A4. But it has all the measurements you'll need to be able to place your plates and drill your holes appropriately. Now some plates will be narrower, so there's these vertical aligned holes you can use. Some plates will be wider and you'll be able to use the widest points to fix these plates. But they all need to be the same distance, or the right distance apart from each other. So the easiest thing to do is find the centre of your plate. And we've got the centre on here. And once you've found the centre, work out the distance to the drilling hole or to the side of the plate. Both of those distances are incorporated here. So we see here 107, probably can't see that actually, 107 millimeters from the center line to the edge of these plates. So once you've actually put a piece of painter's tape or something like this, just over the center, measure the center, mark a line, and measure either side. That will give you the side to side movement for the base plates. Then you'll need to put the hook plates on. They are actually physically the same shape aside from this hook on the top, this captive piece on the top. The holes are spaced identical. These three holes are identical on the plates, and as I say, they're the same width, and the holes are the same distance from the bottom. The top's slightly different because these are actually a little bit taller. So I'm not going to show you screwing them on, put them in place and this, that and the other, but it is important to note that they have to be quite accurate. Now if you're using a QRMin base mount X4, which this is, I would suggest putting these mounts on first, then measuring the distance for these ones, and putting these ones on. And essentially that's it. It's as simple as that. Just measure it up, use the dimensions on the sheet, and put them in place. Now you're going to have to be quite accurate with your controllers. So what I've got here is a Fanatec CSP set of pedals. I've already put on the plates, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video and take them off, or rather loosen them. So I've got the hook plates on the back and I've got the QR plates on the front. Hopefully you can see that. I hope the lighting's better in this video. I've taken time to try and make it worthwhile, because I think the last videos have been a bit dark. So anyway, cut to the chase. I'll take the front off here and I'll show you how I fit them to the Fanatec CSPs. That will give you an idea for other controllers. Right, I've got my Fanatec CSPs here. As you can see, that the rear hook plates are on nice and tight, secured into position. There's not really too many ways these can go on, so they're nice and secure. These ones, however, I've left loose. I'll just put the screws and the washers on the other side, and I'll show you that in a minute. So the reason I've done that is so that I can get them in the right place, relevant to the base plates, which I've secured in place, which are nice and square, all checked in, measurements are okay. And here we go. So first things first, just rest it onto the QRMin base mounts, and then what we're going to do is because these are loose, might take a little bit of getting right. What we want to do is get them in the right position so that so that they can click into place. So I'm just going to stand up to do that because they're in the wrong position at the moment and I want to get them in the right position. There we go. And just click them into place, and that's pretty secure. Once they're in the right position, they should go in much easier. So the next thing to do is tighten them up whilst in position onto the actual controller itself. So I'm just going to tighten them up to the pinch, like that. The pinch is easier to do with the Allen key this way round. If you use the lever like that, it's harder to feel the pinch. So up to a pinch, there we go. And then once you've got to the pinch, just another quarter of a turn, not sorry, a 16th of a turn. Just to make them tight. And that's it really. That's now in place. And obviously easier when it's on a rig because it's nice and secure on a rig, and easier to click into place. And there we go. Once this is solid, they'll just go on and off, just slide on and off easier. But right now, on the table, on a wobbly table, that's not the easiest things. So, take those off. Those are now in place, in the right place. And that's that. Of course your footplate may be very different to this. You can have a footplate like this. Again, this is a slotted design, but this is again Next Level Racing. This has got the X3 kit on it for the MFG crosswinds. So again, it's just rest it into position, click it into place, and the hook plates stop it moving up and down, and this forward plate with the two handles, central plate, keeps them in position. To release, just open those two and away you go. Off it comes. Now, what happens if I want to add, for instance, the MFG crosswinds? Well, first thing to do is to fit one of these. So what we need to do is get this as central as possible. It's not overly critical, but as central as possible in place in the middle of these two. So I'm going to cut the video and come back once I've put the nuts, because what you've got is, you don't want to see me faff with this, you've got essentially M6 washer, M6 nylock on the either side or on the base of these screws. And these screws are M18 countersunk. So I'll be back in a minute. Right then, so we've secured the QRMin central base unit, central base mount in place. I've tightened up the nuts on the back, and I've got it as central as I could by eye, which is all that's really needed. You know, give or take half a millimetre, and what have you. So now I can put the MFGs, the crosswinds, on this one. So again, just line it up, rest it in place, and slide it into place. Make sure you click the locks to hold it there, and that's going nowhere. That's as solid as a rock. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If I want to swap over to my racing configuration, I flip those open and put the CSPs in, which you've already seen. One thing though, I will recommend is for the outer plates here that you use the dust covers on the outers if you're using the crosswinds, just for more heel comfort than anything else. It will provide a bit more heel comfort, so yeah, and that's that, all done. See you next time.